You're about to experience something different. And I need to warn you first, this is not a beginner-friendly conversation. In fact, if your English is still at a basic level, parts of this might feel fast, layered, even a little overwhelming. But here's the twist. If you stay until the end, your brain will start adapting in ways you didn't expect.
Wait, that sounds intense already. Are you saying people might not understand everything?
Exactly, and that's the point. Because real language growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. It happens when your brain stretches, when you catch meaning, miss a few details, and then suddenly something clicks.
Oh, wow. I've felt that before. Like when I'm watching something in English, and at first I'm lost, but then suddenly I understand more and more.
That moment, that's where transformation begins. And today, on Talk Easy Daily, we're going to push you right into that zone. Not to confuse you, but to upgrade you.
Okay, now I'm curious, but also slightly nervous.
Good. That mix of curiosity and tension, that's the perfect state for learning. So here's a question for you. Be honest. When you listen to English, do you always try to understand every single word?
Oh, I do that all the time, and honestly, it's exhausting.
And that right there is one of the biggest traps advanced learners fall into. Today, we're going to break that habit, rewire how you listen, and show you how advanced speakers actually process English without overthinking every word.
So this isn't just about vocabulary or grammar, right?
Not even close. This is about how your brain handles language at a deeper level. And by the end of this episode, you'll start noticing something surprising. You'll understand more, even when you think you don't.
That sounds almost like a paradox.
It is, and that's exactly why most learners never reach true fluency. They're stuck trying to control everything instead of letting understanding emerge naturally.
Okay, now I'm really hooked. But tell me this, what's the biggest mistake advanced learners don't even realize they're making?
Great question, and the answer might surprise you, because it feels like the right thing to do, but it's actually slowing you down.
Wait, now I need to know.
And we're going to uncover that in just a moment. But first, you need to understand how your brain is secretly working against you when you try too hard to understand English.
That sounds dangerous, in a good way.
Exactly. So stay with us, because what you're about to discover might completely change how you learn English from today.
And if you've ever felt stuck at an advanced level, like you're not improving anymore, this episode is definitely for you.
And here's a quick challenge for you, listening right now. Don't pause, don't rewind, don't translate. Just stay with us and let your brain do the work.
Ooh, that's hard.
I know, but that's where the real magic begins.
All right, I'm in. Let's do this.
Let's begin. Let me say something that might sound a little uncomfortable. The more you try to understand every single word, the less you actually understand the message.
That feels wrong. Like, shouldn't understanding every word mean better understanding?
That's the illusion. Advanced learners often confuse word recognition with meaning comprehension. But real communication doesn't work word by word. It works in chunks, patterns, and ideas.
So when I'm listening and focusing on every word, I'm actually slowing myself down?
Exactly. You're forcing your brain into a decoding mode instead of a comprehension mode. It's like trying to read a novel by analyzing every letter instead of absorbing the story.
Oh, wow. I've definitely done that. Especially when I hear a word I don't know, I just freeze.
And that freeze, that's where you lose the rest of the sentence. While your brain is stuck on one unknown word, the speaker has already moved on.
That explains so much. Sometimes I feel like I miss entire parts of conversations.
You're not missing them because your English is weak. You're missing them because your attention is in the wrong place.
That's actually kind of relieving, but also frustrating.
Good. That tension means you're about to change something important. Let me ask you this. Have you ever watched a movie in English and understood the story, even though you didn't catch every word?
Yes, that happens a lot actually.
That's your natural comprehension system working. Your brain uses context, tone, body language, and patterns to fill in the gaps.
So I already have the ability?
You do, but you've been trained, probably in school, to ignore that ability and focus only on perfect understanding.
That's true. Everything was about accuracy, grammar, correctness.
And those things matter, but only at the right stage. At an advanced level, your goal is no longer perfection. It's flow.
Flow? Like speaking and understanding without stopping?
Exactly. Flow means you stay with the conversation, even when things aren't 100% clear.
That sounds freeing, but also scary.
Let's turn that fear into something useful. Quick question for you, listening right now. What do you do when you hear a word you don't understand?
Yeah, seriously, think about it.
Do you pause mentally, translate, replay it in your head?
Because I do all three.
Most people do. But here's the shift. Advanced learners train themselves to ignore unknown words temporarily.
Ignore them? That feels risky.
It is, but it's powerful, because most of the time, that unknown word is not essential to the main idea.
So you're saying even if I miss a word, I can still understand the message?
Not only can, you probably already do. You just don't trust it yet.
That's interesting. So it's more about trust than knowledge.
Exactly. Trust in your brain's ability to extract meaning without complete data.
That sounds like something native speakers do naturally.
They do. Native speakers miss words all the time, due to noise, speed, accents, but they don't panic. They keep going.
Wow, I never thought about that.
Here's a quick pattern interrupt for you. Myth versus reality.
Ooh, I like this.
Myth. Advanced English means understanding everything perfectly.
That's what most people believe.
Reality. Advanced English means understanding enough to stay engaged and respond naturally.
That's a big difference.
And here's where it gets even more interesting, because once you stop chasing every word, something unexpected happens.
What?
Your listening speed improves automatically.
Wait, how?
Because your brain is no longer overloaded. It can process larger chunks of language instead of small fragments.
So instead of hearing word, 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 I start hearing full ideas?
Exactly. And that's when English starts to feel natural instead of mechanical.
That sounds like a huge breakthrough.
It is, but most learners never reach it because they stay stuck in control mode.
Control mode. I like that term.
Control mode is when you try to manage every detail. Flow mode is when you allow understanding to happen.
Okay, but how do you actually switch between those modes?
That's the key question, and the answer is simpler than you think, but it requires practice.
Of course it does.
Let me give you a small experiment. Next time you listen to English, maybe even right now, focus only on the general idea.
Not the words?
Not the individual words. Ask yourself, what is the speaker trying to say overall?
That feels like zooming out.
Exactly. You're shifting from microscopic listening to macroscopic listening.
Wow, that sounds advanced already.
And here's the interesting part. You might feel like you understand less at first.
That's not very encouraging.
Stay with me. That feeling is temporary. It's your brain adjusting to a new processing style.
So it's like going to the gym for your brain?
Perfect analogy. It feels uncomfortable because you're using a different muscle.
Okay, I can see that.
Now, let me ask you something deeper. Why do you think learners are afraid to let go of control?
Maybe because they're afraid of missing something important?
Exactly. There's a fear of losing meaning. But here's the paradox.
Another one?
Yes, and this one is powerful. The more you try to control meaning, the more meaning slips away.
That's kind of mind-blowing.
Because language is not meant to be controlled. It's meant to be experienced.
That sounds almost philosophical.
Language is deeply connected to human experience, emotion, context, rhythm, not just words.
So when I focus only on words, I'm missing the bigger picture.
Precisely. And that brings us to the next level of understanding, how advanced listeners actually feel language, not just hear it.
Feel it? Now I'm really curious.
Because this is where things start to change dramatically. Once you tap into this, your listening becomes faster, deeper, and more intuitive.
Okay, now I need to know how that works.
And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. How emotion, tone, and rhythm can give you meaning even when words fail.
That sounds like a secret most learners never discover.
It is. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go deeper.
Let's go. Let's explore something most advanced learners completely overlook. And once you notice it, you'll never listen to English the same way again.
Okay, now I'm really paying attention.
Good. Because this is where listening stops being about words and starts becoming about signals.
Signals? Like hidden meaning?
Exactly. Think about this. When someone says, "That's just great," it can mean two completely different things.
Oh yeah, it could be positive or super sarcastic.
Right. And the words don't change. What changes?
The tone.
The tone. And here's the key insight. Tone often carries more meaning than the words themselves.
Wow, so if I'm only listening to words, I might completely misunderstand the message.
Not just might. You will misunderstand it sometimes, because real English is layered.
That's actually a bit scary.
Or exciting, depending on how you look at it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever understood a sentence but still felt confused about what the person really meant?
Yes, that happens a lot. I understand the words, but I'm like, wait, what?
That's because you're catching the surface meaning, but missing the emotional signal underneath.
So advanced listening is like reading between the lines?
Exactly. And here's where it gets powerful. Your brain is already capable of doing this.
Really?
Yes. Even in your native language, you don't just listen to words, you listen to how something is said.
That's true. I can tell if someone is annoyed even if they don't say it directly.
And that same ability can transfer to English. You just need to activate it.
Okay, but how?
Let's break it down. There are 3 hidden layers advanced listeners pay attention to: tone, rhythm, and emphasis.
That sounds like music.
That's not a coincidence. Language is musical, and once you hear it that way, everything changes.
Okay, explain tone first.
Tone is the emotional color of speech. It tells you how the speaker feels.
Like happy, annoyed, excited?
Exactly. Now here's a quick experiment for you listening. Imagine someone saying, "Oh, really?"
That could mean so many things.
Exactly. Surprise, doubt, sarcasm, curiosity, all from the same 2 words.
That's kind of amazing.
And slightly dangerous if you ignore it.
True.
Now let's move to rhythm. This is where many learners struggle without realizing it.
Rhythm? Like speed?
Partly, but more importantly, it's the pattern of stressed and unstressed sounds.
That sounds technical.
Let me simplify it. Native speakers don't give equal importance to every word.
Yeah, some words feel stronger.
Exactly. Content words, like nouns and verbs, get more stress. Function words, like the and to, often get reduced.
So if I try to hear every word equally, I'm not listening the way native speakers speak.
Precisely. That mismatch creates confusion.
That explains why sometimes sentences sound like a blur.
Because your brain is expecting clear, equal pronunciation, but real speech doesn't work like that.
So what should I do instead?
Focus on the stressed words. They carry the core meaning.
So even if I miss the small words, I can still understand?
Yes. Let me show you a quick example.
Okay.
I didn't say he stole the money.
That seems simple.
Now watch this. Depending on which word is stressed, the meaning changes.
Wait, really?
If I say, I didn't say he stole the money, it means someone else said it.
Oh, wow.
If I say, I didn't say he stole the money, it means I implied it but didn't say it directly.
That's crazy. The same sentence, different meanings.
And this is why advanced listening is not about vocabulary. It's about interpretation.
I feel like I've been missing this the whole time.
Most learners do, but now you're becoming aware of it, and that's the first step.
Okay, what about the third one? Emphasis.
Emphasis is closely related to rhythm, but more intentional. It's when a speaker highlights a specific word to direct your attention.
Like stressing a point?
Exactly. It tells you this part matters most.
So if I ignore emphasis, I might miss the main idea.
Yes. And here's something interesting. Native speakers subconsciously use emphasis to guide listeners.
So they're kind of helping us, but we're not noticing.
That's a great way to put it.
This is starting to feel like decoding a hidden system.
It is a system, but it becomes natural with practice.
Okay, let me ask something honest.
Go ahead.
What if I can't catch tone or rhythm easily? Does that mean I'm not advanced enough?
Not at all. It just means you haven't trained that skill yet.
That's reassuring.
And here's a quick tip. Start listening for emotion first, not words.
Emotion before meaning?
Yes. Ask yourself, how does this person feel?
That feels more intuitive.
Exactly. Because emotions are easier to detect than complex vocabulary.
That makes sense.
Now, let me challenge you again. Next time you listen to English, ignore 30% of the words on purpose.
On purpose?
Yes. Instead, focus on tone, rhythm, and emphasis.
That sounds like a completely different way of listening.
It is. And it's how advanced listeners break through plateaus.
I feel like this could change everything.
It can. But here's where it gets even more interesting.
There's more?
Always. Because once you start understanding beyond words, something unexpected begins to happen in your speaking.
Wait, speaking too?
Yes. Your speaking becomes more natural without consciously trying.
Okay, now I really want to know how that works.
Because this is where listening and speaking connect in a way most learners never realize.
Don't stop now.
I won't. In the next part, we're going to uncover how advanced listening silently transforms your speaking ability and why most learners approach it completely backwards.
That sounds like a game changer.
It is. And if you've ever felt like you understand more than you can speak, this next part is going to hit hard.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go deeper.
Let me ask you something that might feel a little uncomfortable. Have you ever understood English perfectly in your head, but when it was your turn to speak, everything just disappeared?
Oh my God, yes. That happens all the time. I'm like, I know this, but then I just freeze.
That moment right there is where most advanced learners get stuck. And here's the surprising truth. It's not because you lack vocabulary.
Then what is it?
It's because your listening and speaking systems are not synchronized.
Wait, what does that mean exactly?
It means you've trained your brain to recognize English, but not to produce it naturally.
That feels very accurate.
And here's where things get really interesting. Most learners think speaking improves by speaking more.
Isn't that true?
Partly, but here's the pattern interrupt. Myth versus reality.
I'm ready.
Myth. If you want to speak better English, you should focus mainly on speaking practice.
That's what everyone says.
Reality. The fastest way to improve speaking is to upgrade how you listen.
Wait, seriously?
Yes, because your speaking is a reflection of what your brain has deeply absorbed, not what you consciously know.
So if I listen better, I speak better?
Exactly. But not just any listening. Active, pattern-based listening.
Okay, break that down for me.
When you listen to English at an advanced level, your brain starts noticing patterns. How sentences are formed, how ideas are connected, how emotions are expressed.
So it's like building a mental library?
Perfect way to say it. And when you speak, you're not creating sentences from scratch. You're pulling from that library.
Oh, wow. That explains why sometimes phrases just come out automatically.
That's not luck. That's stored language patterns being activated.
So the goal is not to think while speaking, but to recall?
Exactly. Thinking slows you down. Recall speeds you up.
That makes so much sense. When I try to build sentences, I get stuck.
Because construction is slow. Retrieval is fast.
So how do I build that library faster?
By listening in a very specific way. Not passively, not just for entertainment, but with awareness.
Awareness of what?
Of how things are said, not just what is said.
That sounds familiar from earlier.
Exactly. We're connecting the dots now. Remember tone, rhythm, and emphasis?
Yeah?
Those are not just listening tools, they're speaking tools too.
Oh, so if I hear them enough, I start using them naturally.
Yes, your brain mirrors what it hears repeatedly.
That's actually kind of amazing.
It is, but here's where most learners make a critical mistake.
Uh-oh.
They listen, but they don't internalize.
What does that mean?
They understand the content, but they don't absorb the structure.
So they get the idea, but not the way it's expressed?
Exactly. And that's why their speaking sounds unnatural.
Wow, that hits hard.
Let me give you a quick example. Imagine you hear this sentence. I didn't really think it would turn out that way.
Okay.
Most learners understand the meaning and move on.
Yeah, I would.
But an advanced learner pauses, not physically, but mentally, and notices the structure.
Like what?
I didn't really think. That's a softening phrase.
Softening?
Yes, it makes the statement less direct, more natural, more conversational.
Oh, instead of just saying I was surprised.
Exactly. Native speakers often use these layered structures.
So if I don't notice them, I won't use them.
Precisely. And your English stays flat.
That explains why sometimes my sentences feel too simple.
Not wrong, but not advanced.
So how do I fix that?
Here's a powerful technique. Micro-listening.
That sounds intense.
It's simple but effective. Choose a short sentence from something you're listening to and replay it in your mind.
Okay.
Not to memorize, but to feel the structure.
Feel it?
Yes. Notice how it flows, where the emphasis is, how it sounds as a whole.
So it's like copying the rhythm, not just the words?
Exactly. Because fluency is rhythm, not just accuracy.
That's a powerful line.
And here's a quick challenge for you listening right now. Think of one English sentence you heard recently.
Just one?
Can you recall not just the words, but the way it sounded?
That's harder.
And that's the gap we're closing today.
I love this. It feels like unlocking a new level.
It is. But now let's go even deeper, because there's something even more subtle happening when you listen.
There's more?
Always. And this might surprise you. Your identity plays a role in your fluency.
Identity? Like personality?
Exactly. Because how you see yourself affects how you speak.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
Because many advanced learners don't just struggle with language, they struggle with permission.
Permission to what?
To sound natural, to take risks, to speak without overthinking.
That's very true.
And in the next part, we're going to explore how your mindset and identity might be silently limiting your English and how to break through it.
That sounds deep.
It is, and it might change the way you see yourself as an English speaker.
All right, I'm ready for that.
Let's go there. Let's talk about something that almost no one wants to admit, but it quietly controls how fluent you become.
That already sounds serious.
It is, and it's not your vocabulary, not your grammar, not even your listening skills.
Then what is it?
It's the version of yourself you believe you are when you speak English.
Wow, that hit deeper than I expected.
Good, because this is where real transformation begins. Let me ask you something. When you speak English, do you feel like the same person you are in your native language?
Honestly, no. I feel smaller, less confident, like I'm not fully myself.
And that feeling right there is shaping every sentence you produce.
That's kind of scary.
Or empowering, because it means you can change it.
But how? It doesn't feel like a choice.
It feels automatic, but it's actually a pattern. And like any pattern, it can be rewritten.
Okay, I'm listening.
Here's what happens. When you speak in your native language, you're not thinking about words. You're expressing identity.
Yeah, I just speak naturally.
You joke, you react, you interrupt, you express opinions, all without hesitation.
Exactly.
But in English, something changes. You shift from expression mode to performance mode.
Oh my God, yes, that's exactly it.
And performance mode creates pressure. Pressure creates hesitation. And hesitation breaks fluency.
So it's not that I can't speak, it's that I'm holding myself back?
Precisely. You're filtering everything before it comes out.
That's so true. I'm always thinking, is this correct? Does this sound right?
And while you're thinking that, the moment passes.
That hurts because it's real.
Let's do a quick pattern interrupt. Truth versus illusion.
Okay,
Illusion. Fluent speakers always speak correctly.
that's what I believe.
Truth. Fluent speakers prioritize connection over perfection.
That's very different.
And that shift changes everything. Because when your goal is perfection, you become careful.
And when I'm careful, I slow down.
Exactly. But when your goal is connection, you become expressive.
And expression is faster.
And more natural. And more human.
So I need to stop trying to sound perfect and start trying to sound real.
That's the breakthrough. But here's where it gets even deeper.
There's more?
Always. And your brain is constantly asking one question when you speak. Is it safe to say this?
Safe?
Safe from embarrassment. Safe from mistakes. Safe from judgment.
Wow, I've never thought about it like that.
And if your brain says not safe, it blocks you.
That explains the freezing feeling.
Exactly. So fluency is not just a language skill, it's a psychological state.
That's powerful.
Now, here's the shift. Advanced learners train their brain to feel safe being imperfect.
That sounds simple, but hard.
It is, but it's trainable. Let me ask you something. Have you ever said something slightly wrong in English, but people still understood you?
Yes, many times.
And what happened?
Nothing really. The conversation continued.
Exactly. But in your mind, it felt like a big mistake.
Yes, I keep thinking about it later.
That's because your internal standards are too strict?
So I'm judging myself more than others are?
Almost always. And that self-judgment creates tension.
And tension kills fluency.
You're getting it.
So what should I do in that moment when I feel stuck?
Here's a practical shift. Replace the question, is this correct, with, is this understandable?
That's a huge difference, because communication is about being understood, not being perfect. That actually feels relieving. And here's a small story for you, and for everyone listening. I love stories. I once worked with a learner who had incredible vocabulary, advanced words, complex grammar, but when he spoke, he hesitated constantly. That sounds frustrating. It was. So I asked him a simple question. When you speak your native language, do you ever pause to check if your sentence is perfect? I'm guessing he said no. Exactly. He laughed, and that moment changed everything. Because he realized the difference. Yes, he wasn't lacking English, he was over-controlling it. That's such a powerful realization. Within weeks, his fluency improved. Not because he learned new words, but because he stopped blocking the ones he already knew. That's amazing.
And you can do the same. But here's the key. You have to allow yourself to sound imperfect.
That's the hard part.
It is. But let me challenge you. What's worse, making small mistakes or never expressing your real thoughts?
That's definitely the second one.
Exactly, because language is a tool for expression, not a test.
That really changes how I see it.
Now let's connect this back to listening.
Okay.
The more you listen to natural, imperfect, real conversations, the more your brain accepts that perfection is not required.
So listening is also shaping my confidence?
Yes, it's reshaping your expectations.
That's fascinating.
And here's a quick challenge for you listening. Next time you speak English, intentionally don't correct yourself mid-sentence.
That's scary.
Finish the thought first, then adjust if needed.
That feels more natural.
Because it is. Native speakers rarely stop mid-sentence to fix themselves.
That's true.
They keep going, and that's what creates flow.
I feel like this is something I really need to practice.
And you will, because now you're aware of it.
This episode is starting to feel like therapy.
Language learning is deeply connected to identity. It always has been.
So what happens when someone finally breaks through this mental barrier?
That's where things get exciting, because once your identity shifts, your fluency accelerates.
How fast are we talking?
Faster than you expect, because you're no longer fighting yourself.
That sounds like freedom.
It is. But there's one more layer we haven't explored yet.
Of course there is.
And this one is about how advanced learners think in English, not translate.
Oh wow, that's something I've always struggled with.
And that's exactly where we're going next, because once you understand this shift, your entire relationship with English changes.
I can't wait.
Let's go there. Let me ask you something simple, but answer it honestly. When you hear English, are you actually understanding it in English, or are you secretly translating it into your native language first?
Okay, yeah, I still translate sometimes, especially when the sentence is complex.
And when you do that, what happens to your speed?
It slows down a lot.
Exactly, because translation is a two-step process. First, you hear the English, then you convert it, then you understand it.
So I'm basically doubling the work.
More than doubling, you're creating a delay that makes real-time conversation almost impossible.
That explains why I can understand slow English, but struggle with fast conversations.
That's the hidden bottleneck. And here's the truth most advanced learners don't want to hear. You cannot reach true fluency if you rely on translation.
That sounds harsh, but also true.
It's not about removing translation completely overnight. It's about gradually replacing it with direct understanding.
Direct understanding, like thinking in English?
Exactly. But let's clarify something. Thinking in English doesn't mean forcing yourself to create perfect sentences in your head.
That's what I thought it meant.
That's a common misunderstanding. Real thinking in English is much more fluid and much less structured.
What do you mean?
It's about associating English directly with meaning, images, and feelings, not with your native language.
So instead of hearing apple and thinking of the word in my language, I just picture an apple.
Perfect example. That's direct association.
That feels simpler.
It is, but your brain has been trained for years to translate, so it feels unfamiliar at first.
So how do I break that habit?
Slowly and strategically. Let me give you a practical shift. When you hear a sentence, don't ask, "What does this mean in my language?"
Okay,
Ask, "What is happening here?"
that's a very different question.
Exactly. It pushes your brain toward understanding the situation, not translating the words.
So I focus on meaning, not language.
Yes, because language is just a tool. Meaning is the goal.
That's powerful.
Now let's do a quick mental exercise for everyone listening.
I like these.
Imagine someone says, "He's been putting it off for weeks."
Okay.
If you translate, you'll get stuck analyzing each word.
Yeah, putting off, it gets confusing.
But if you think in meaning, you ask, "What is the situation?"
Someone is delaying something.
Exactly. No translation needed.
That feels so much faster.
Because it is. And here's the key insight. Your brain prefers meaning over language.
So translation is actually unnatural?
In real-time communication, yes. It's a learned habit, not a natural process.
That's interesting.
Now here's a pattern interrupt. Quick truth.
Go for it.
You don't need to understand every word to understand every situation.
That's really important.
Because situations carry meaning, context carries meaning, tone carries meaning.
So words are just one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. And when you rely only on words, you limit yourself.
I feel like this is changing how I listen completely.
Good. That's the goal.
But what about speaking? I still feel like I need to translate before I talk.
That's because your brain hasn't built enough direct pathways yet.
Pathways?
Yes, connections between ideas and English expressions.
So instead of going idea, native language, English,
You go idea to English directly.
that sounds much faster.
It is, but it requires repetition and exposure.
So listening helps build those pathways?
Exactly. Every time you understand something without translating, you strengthen that direct connection.
That's motivating.
And here's a small but powerful habit. Start thinking in English in low-pressure moments.
Like when?
When you're walking, cooking, or just observing something.
Oh, like describing what I see?
Yes, simple things. It's getting dark. I need to buy coffee. That looks interesting.
That feels doable.
Because it is. You're not performing. You're just thinking.
That removes the pressure.
Exactly. And over time, that internal thinking becomes automatic.
So when I speak, I don't need to translate anymore.
Right, because the language is already active in your mind.
This is starting to feel like a complete system.
It is a system. Listening, thinking, and speaking, they're all connected.
And most learners treat them separately.
That's the mistake.
Wow.
Now, let me ask you something, and this is for everyone listening too.
Okay.
If you stopped translating today, what do you think would happen?
Honestly, I'd probably feel lost at first.
Exactly. And that's the transition phase.
So feeling lost is part of the process?
Not just part of it, it's a sign that you're rewiring your brain.
That's actually comforting.
Because many learners quit at that stage, thinking they're getting worse.
When they're actually improving.
Precisely.
That's such an important mindset shift.
And this brings us to something powerful, because once you stop translating and start thinking in English,
What happens?
your fluency stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like instinct.
That's exactly what I want.
And you're closer than you think. But before we wrap everything together, there's one final layer we need to explore.
There's still more?
Always. And this last part is where everything connects. Listening, speaking, identity, and thinking.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
because we're going to look at real-life scenarios, how all of this actually works in conversations.
Like practical examples?
Exactly. Situations you've experienced, but never fully understood.
I feel like this is where everything will click.
It will. So stay with us, because in the next part, you'll start seeing yourself in these situations and understanding them in a completely new way.
I can't wait.
Let's bring it all together. Let's bring this into real life, because everything we've talked about so far only matters if you can actually feel it in real situations.
Yes, please. Because I understand the ideas, but I want to see how this works in real conversations.
Perfect. Let's start with a situation you've probably experienced many times.
I'm ready.
You're in a conversation. Someone speaks quickly. You catch maybe 70% of what they said.
That already sounds stressful.
And then your brain reacts instantly. Wait, what did I miss? What was that word? Should I ask again?
Yes, and then I panic a little.
And while you're panicking, what's happening?
I stop listening.
Exactly. You disconnect from the conversation.
That's so true.
Now, here's the advanced response. Instead of focusing on what you missed, you stay with what you did understand.
That feels like ignoring the problem.
It's actually solving it, because communication is about continuity, not perfection.
So I keep going even with incomplete understanding?
Yes, and here's the surprising part. Most of the time, the conversation itself will fill in the gaps.
How?
People repeat ideas, rephrase things, give context without realizing it.
Oh, so meaning builds over time.
Exactly. Meaning is cumulative.
That's such a different way of seeing it.
Let me give you a quick mini story.
Go for it.
A learner once told me, I can't follow conversations because people speak too fast.
I've said that before.
So I asked him to try something unusual. Focus only on the topic, not the details.
Just the topic?
Yes. What are they talking about overall?
Okay.
Within minutes, he realized something shocking.
What?
He was understanding far more than he thought.
Wow.
Because he stopped measuring understanding word by word and started experiencing it as a whole.
That's a huge shift.
Now let's move to another situation. This one is even more common.
Okay.
You're about to speak, and you have an idea in your mind.
Yes.
But before you say it, your brain starts editing.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
Is this correct? Is there a better word? What if I make a mistake?
And then silence.
Exactly. The moment passes.
That's so frustrating.
Now here's the advanced approach. You separate thinking from editing.
What does that mean?
First, you express the idea freely,
Without stopping?
without stopping. Then, if needed, you refine.
So speaking comes first, correction comes later.
Yes, because fluency requires momentum.
That makes so much sense.
Let me ask you something. When you're telling a story in your native language, do you stop in the middle to fix every sentence?
No, never.
Exactly. You prioritize flow.
So I need to do the same in English.
Precisely.
Okay, what about when I don't know a word?
Ah, this is a big one. Most learners freeze here.
That's me.
But advanced speakers do something different. They work around the missing word.
Like how?
They describe it, simplify it, or use a similar idea.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine you don't know the word microwave.
Okay.
Instead of stopping, you say,